Om. 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 Om Shri Mahagणपतये Namaha. Om Shri Saraswate Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Vyasa Sankara Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Nami Bhagavad Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Lokashankaram Samastajana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Janmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha Om Sri Tapovan Sishyaya Namaha Hari Om. So let us chant the Shanti part for the Taittiriya Upanishad. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Now, last week we have already chanted the fourth Anuvaka of the Brahmananda Valli of Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad has three Anuvakas, has three Vallis. We completed the first Valli, which is Siksha Valli. We had 11 Anuvakas, we did that. Now we are now in the Brahmananda Valli. It has also, I think, about 10 or 11 Anuvakas. We have covered in detail three Anuvakas. The fourth Anuvaka we chanted last week. The topic under discussion is, it first defined what is Brahman. It defined it as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. It is the truth itself. Just like gold is the truth of all the ornaments, whole universe arises out of Sat. If you take the Sat out, there is no universe. Take gold out, there is no ornament. It's as simple as that. Because it provides the whole support for when you say support, it's not like a support like this. No, it is a material support. It is the cause of the universe. Okay. So if you look at it from that angle, it has to be infinite, because everything in the universe is supported by it. So it itself is infinite. Because then what is it? Is it a dead? Is it a unconscious or conscious? It is a conscious entity. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Tasmat edasmat atmas atma. That also is this. Atmanaha Akasha Sambhuta. So it is actually material cause that existed before even the Akasha appeared. So even Akasha appears, it still remains. It is appearance. Akasha is an appearance. Just like in a dream, a dreamer is experiencing the appearances. He is still untouched. So now, what is that relationship? Now I don't feel it. Okay, that's good, but I don't feel it. The Upanishad now tells people how to feel it. So in the first Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, in that definition, it is a Swarupa, but I don't feel it. So it is, although it is Paroksha, outside me. So in order to help you to connect it with aparoksha, as connected to me, it said, Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam. That which is actually available but not obvious to you because it's hidden. Guhayam. In your cave of heart. In the cave of heart, that Parame Vyoman, that cosmic space or Chidakasha in which physical Akasha is born. That is in you. So we are the support. So it has given you definition and as well as it told you how to own it. Aparoksha means directly it is you. From you, your world arises. Then the Upanishad tells you how to now it was given the Lakshana of the Swarupa Lakshana is given. Then why it is not available? Because Nihitam Guhayam. It is hidden as though. Although it is you, you are not aware of it. The one the Upanishad does is it now looks at you as where you are now. How do we look at myself? I look at myself as this limited body with some mental emotions connected to my families, connected to my fears, connected to my projections for the future, regrets of the past. So, are you limited fundamentally? Are you limited by your imagination? Upanishad actually says you are limited by your imagination of yourself as though you are disconnected from your actual being. That is the Siddhanta. So where do you start? You start where you consider yourself, I am this, I am not that. So that distinction is based upon the body. So Upanishad says that is called Annamaya Kosha. Now Kosha means covering. So we have as though we have 5 coverings. You are actually already that. Once you are already infinite. But you have looking at yourself in a wrong way, and then world also follows. The way you look at the world also. The way you look at yourself, you see the world also. You see yourself as matter, you also see the world as matter only. So now you know how to disengage this connection, you have to do pasana. Upanishad gives you 5 steps, 5 upasanas in order. First, it says you are a product of cosmic annam. Matter is not just this. Your mind is only because of your conditioning, it is just that limited to this, but it is not this. It is a part of the total anna. So you expand yourself, ignore your limited identifications, and then you feel more as though expanded, out of which you are arising because you are constantly exchanging. It doesn't exist if the cosmic matter doesn't exist. So you are increasingly you become less detached from the body and more focused on the bigger existence that you have as a matter. That upasana takes you to a state where 100% preoccupation with matter is diluted. Instead of normally we consider ourselves separated with me, my spouse, my house, my children, my grandchildren, 100%, that's all it is. But now as matter, everything is matter, I am only the illuminer of that. As the Virat. Virat is also conscious. I'm the illuminer of the material appearances in me. Now you see yourself as a cosmic being at material level. So that is your Atma has shifted from limited to total. But in the process, you expanded. Now you look at the Upanishad next takes you. You are also as a mental illuminer of the matter. That is support of matter. To take the mind out, like in deep sleep, physical matter has no existence. So what is the cause? Mind. Manomaya. Sorry. First, next step goes pranamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha is the cosmic energy. Normally, we do not understand that because our mind is. But I will go to the steps. Cosmic energy is the physiological system that operates the matter. Is a pranamaya kosha. You become that, then you identify manomaya kosha, which is the support behind the prana. So whatever is negated, they become just the products, but not you. Whatever is you recognize as you becomes Atma. Now you shift to Manomaya Kosha. For discussion here, you can say Annamaya and Pranamaya, you put one category as a physical, sensuous level. Although you can put Pranamaya into Sushma Sarira, Iksho usually, that is fine too. But Manas, you were directly experienced. Now, Manas is the controller of the matter. See, if you see many of the times, Swami Chinmaya Maharaj has explained it beautifully in his book, Self-Unfoldment. He beautifully explains, when you identify with your emotional body, your physical body surrenders. Like when you have children, their needs overtake your personal physical needs because you shifted to the cause of the matter. When you become a devotee of Bhagavan, you also identify that devotion and then you surrender. You wake up early, do the puja, and you feel protected, supported in your heart. So physically, surrender comes automatically when you surrender to the higher level. This Manomaya Kosha is that. Then Manomaya Kosha is also explained as it has 5 components. Sira has 2 wings, and then the bottom part. And it is essence of knowledge of Vedas, which you repeat, which makes you start owning the knowledge. That's Manas. So physical identification decreases and Manomaya becomes stronger. Then when the Manas also becomes stronger, it becomes a kosha. Next is Atma, your identification shifts to Vijnanamaya kosha, which is our intellect. Our Gurudev used to say, when you shift your attention to Vijnanamaya or intellect, your ideas will take over. So people die for the country. So they forget the children, they forget their kith and kin, they forget their body, they just die. Because their ideal is the buddhi. So buddhi is actually when you identify with a mental, physical, intellectual cause, both mind and also physical layers become subordinate. So that level, then that Manomaya Kosha is also, that intellect, once you become Vijnana, then you become identified with the cosmic intellect, which is Hiranyagarbha also. And then at the physical level, you have the Hiranyagarbha, the Shraddha, is mind, the head is Shraddha, and then He's one of them left and right. One is Rutam, truth digested from scriptures, so that guide his life. Satyam, how you live. So you have established, you have goals, and you live to this. Then concentration, and the Mahat, cosmic, they become your support. Basically, you feel yourself, you're expanding because now you have a goal in life that you want to experience truth, Swarupa. Disidentify with lot of smaller and smaller vestures of your thought process. So this is the yoga atma. For once your mind, once your intellect has become focused, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Jnanam is within your reach. Because you feel yourself now connected to your deeper level of existence. It is not still Brahman, but you feel expanded, you lose interest in the mental activities. And then your sins get destroyed. So that is the topic of the next. It talks about Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anuvaka number 5. Pancham Anuvaka, let me first locate it. I also lost it now. About the Vijnanamaya Kosha Upasana. विज्ञानं देवाः सर्वे ब्रह्मज्येष्ठमुपासते विज्ञानं ब्रह्म चेद्वेद तस्माच्छेन्न प्रमाद्यति शरीरे पात्मनो हित्वा सर्वान् कामान् समुष्णुत इति तस्येष एव शरीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्माद् विज्ञानमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मानन्दमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविध एव तस्य पुरुषविधताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविधः तस्य प्रियमेव शिरः मोदो दक्षिणः पक्षः प्रमोद उत्तरः पक्षः आनंद आत्मा ब्रह्मपुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति. Now, Vijnanamaya Kosha's components were already discussed in the fourth Anuvaka. Shraddha, Rutam, Satyam, Samadhana, and Hiranyagarbha as support. Hiranyagarbha as pure intelligence, but not liberated. See, Brahmaji, Hiranyagarbha in Vedic, in Vedantic literature is same as Brahmaji. Everything starts from him. He's firstborn. So he is extraverted to that extent. Projections takes place within Brahmaji. That's why we don't worship Brahmaji. But he is within the system. But he has Ichcha, Kriya, Jnana Shakti. Jnana here is the cosmic database for the karmic database. A job to do, Ichcha. Kriya is ability to provide those. So all the devatas originate from him. the cosmic level. So when you worship daily, like puja, you are actually worshipping devatas in the form of Hiranyagarbha. All the things that we do, yajnas, they're all done by Vijnanam that originates from Shraddha, Hrutam, and Satyam, Samadhana, and all the yajnas. If you don't have some basic Shraddha, belief in the system, you don't follow any discipline. If you have come to this far and you are doing these things and you have selfless work and you also do pujas and you appreciate the peace that follows, you are doing Hiranyagarbha Upasana. But it's Upasana because you do this, that you get that. When you remain there, then it is purity of Hiranyagarbha because you are still extroverted, but you are experiencing glimpses of Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyagarbha, looking from the Vijnana point of view, Vijnanam Yajñam Tanute, that Hiranyagarbha is the doer of all the yajñas, Panchamahayajñas. In this context, daily pujas, we talked about Panchamahayajñas in the past. Deva, Rushi, Pitru, Bhuta, and Manushya. They are guiding principles in your life. You feel certain degree of satisfaction when you do those things. Karmani tanute picha. You also perform duties consistent to your conviction. They're driven by scriptural injunctions in humanity, pursuits, social service. You have a greater vision of yourself. You don't live in lowly life of an animal. We have come very far if you look from this angle because you have Vijnana. You are sitting in the Upanishad class and you feel connected that it is being talked about me. I can feel that expansion. This is also yajna. Offering our ego because we're expanding. That's a broad definition of yajna. Vijnanam devas sarve brahmajyestamupasate. All the devatas do upasana of Vijnanam Brahma. They are products of Hiranyagarbha. It's called Vijnanam Brahma in this context. All devatas, because all their forces come from total pool of Jnana, Ichcha and Kriya. So they know Jnana Brahma is the first. We are all products. So all the devatas, sarve devaha, Jesta Brahma, Vijnanam Brahma, Jesta Upasate. This is worship. In the Vedic context, yajna word is used, but in the modern context, it is daily puja and then 5 Panchamahayajnas. Nitya Naimitya karmas. Living a life of purity and good thoughts that follow from expanded state of existence, connected to others. Vijnanam Brahma Ched Veda Tasmat Chenna Pramadyati. Those who recognize and who do upasana and do not neglect their connection with a greater level of consciousness, because of that awareness. Just like a mother's love dictates her activities for the children. And now you have a responsibility to yourself. Find a purpose for yourself, that you are that pure wisdom that is flowing through you to the mind and to the intellect and body. That sense of connection by itself is Hiranyagarbha, pure. But the reflection of that is your activities at the mind and physical level. So because of that, what happens? Sarire papas papmanaha hitva sarvan kaman samasnuta iti. The result is he drops all the binding sins in his life, in his body. Why? Okay, what is the effect of that? Sarvan kaman sam asnuta iti. See, what is the reason we do sins? What is the reason we cheat? Because we have a narrow vision related to the body, related to the mind, related to our petty goals. When the petty goals are offered for a higher purpose in life, that I am want to experience my true being, and do not and maintain that sakshi bhava to yourself, to your body and mind, and you are always that feel that quietude, bliss. What happens? Things don't touch you. Small things don't touch you anymore. You forgive them a little, don't worry. Things that are big deal once, now you say, ah, that is a reflected physical or mental state. So that's it. So that how happens. So papas are now don't touch you because you have become witness to your disturbances in the mind. So sarvan kaman asam asnuta iti. Now you don't crave. The desire is nothing but a craving, and that limits you at the physical or mental level. Now, as a Sakshi, everything arises, you become as though nothing is. So, you yourself are already liberated, but you yourself see projected happiness in little things. Now, you stop it. So, you become fulfilled. तस्य एष एव शरीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्मात् एतस्माद् विज्ञानमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मानन्दमयः. Now, what is his shape? First, he is the interior of Manomaya. Therefore, he is the Atma of the Manomaya. So now Manomaya is also an effect. Previous. Now, there is an interior to Vijnanamaya also. That is his Atma. So you are actually negating your lower and lower levels of personality. As you negate, you become more and more expanded. And you become more and more self-sufficient. Because you are establishing yourself in the pure being. So Anyontara Atma Anandamaya. So his exterior kosha is Manomaya. Now this is the Vijnanamaya. Then it is filled with Anandamaya. Ananda kosha. Anyontara Atma Anandamaya. Tenaisha Purnaha. It is filled with the Anandamaya. See, if you do not react to a lot of things in life, you would be so liberated, so fast you'll be liberated. Because your expansion takes place. That expansion is infinite. This is what it's saying. You limit yourself by identifying with smaller and smaller. That is why when you expand, automatically your goals change, your perception about yourself changes, and things also drop, and you become free. So the Vijnanamaya is now Purna Tena Esha Purnaha. It is completed, filled completely with it. Sava Esha Purusha Vidha Eva Tasya Purusha Vidhatam Anvayan Purusha Vidha. So Vijnanamaya is also in the same shape as Purusha, with the head, then two wings, and then a central portion, and then support. Because everything is following as a mold. But it does not mean the covering is the controller of the inner. No. Inner is the more expanded state. It is covering because they want to try to teach you. You discover yourself. That's what they're trying to teach you. That's why it is. You remember Ishavasya Upanishad? Ishavasyavam sarvam yatkinchit jagatyam jagatu tena tektena punjitaha magruta kasvidhanam. In the bhashya of that we have went through, Bhagavan Shankaracharya Ishavashyam idam sarvam yatkinchit jagatya tena tektena bhunjitaha. He was saying, you discover Ishavashyam idam sarvam. World is actually enveloped by Isha. So what is in instruction there? You discover it. You covered yourself with ignorance, your true identity, but you believe that is fine. So to go back to your identity, you have to discover. Bhagavan Shankaracharya, in writing that bhashya, he wrote very beautifully. There is nothing you have to do, you have to discover yourself. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. How avashyam means you actually saying discover. Wrap it within yourself. Then he says how you discover. In that bhashya he writes, it's like a piece of sandalwood. You put it in a kalasha, already some water in it. So what happened is, over a period of time, it accumulated some gunk around the sandalwood. So now you take it out. Now our state is, we have accumulated gunk around ourselves. And we lost the flavor of ourselves. This is how beautifully he said. So what do? You take it out, you scrub it. You don't do anything, you don't throw it. It is actually still sandalwood. How to discover sandalwood? You clean it, and then the fragrance will come out. Exactly the same way, you are already Brahman. But you are reveling smaller levels of existence and conditioning yourself as that is real. Correspondingly, you develop stink, just like the sandalwood developed the stink. It lost its flavor completely. That Bhashya Bhagavan Shankaracharya writes beautifully. So the unfolding process, that's what Swami Gurudev writes, self-unfoldment, he writes. You are folded yourself, and then you are now caught up and you're complaining. Vedanta is telling you, never been folded. Just let go. Be Sakshi Bhava in the beginning, and then you expand. Now here, very beautiful. Anyantaratma Anandamaya. Whenever you say Atma, that is the reality. Now, the moment you say Anandamaya is the Atma, Vijnanamaya becomes a sheath. It is just a illusive covering. It is not absolutely existing. It borrows existence from Anandamaya. Because you project happiness in outer things. And that's the root cause of ignorance. Savaya, Tasya Purusha, Anvayam Purusha Vedaha. Now it also has 5 parts for dhyana. This is for dhyana, meditation. Tasya Priyame Vasiraha. Ananda is also divided into 5 parts. Our rishis are great experts in classifications. Swami Vivekananda used to say, in categorizations, our rishis are geniuses. Right on the money. So whatever drives you, tasya priyameva siraha. Priya is this sira. Our Guru, Swami Guruji beautiful explained. Swami, he explained Priya is also a part of Ananda. So you suppose your son is traveling abroad or something, or suppose you love mangoes. Mango season is coming in a month, in June, for example. As soon as you think about it, it's called Priya. You get some happiness. That called Priya. The happiness that you derive through sensuous pleasure, expected. But it is expected, it is there, but it's coming. That Priya, that is Priya. Modo Dakshina Pakshaha. Now, when you see that same mango, when you see it near you, that is called Moda. Now you're seeing it. Now you have not eaten yet, but now you suddenly start experiencing the Moda. You can see, you can feel. That is called Moda. That happens. Pramoda Uttara Pakshaha, left side, wing of left side. This drives you. Ananda drives your life. Without Ananda, nobody does anything. So, Pramoda is actually when you actually eat it. That Ananda is Pramoda. It is still reflected happiness based upon the material possessions and sensuous exists. So in Priya, it is mental. So your disturbance, mental is being fulfilled. Mind is slowing down. In Moda, it is further slowed down. In Pramoda, it further slowed down. That's why you're happy. It's not that you're unhappy. You created unhappiness. When the mind slows down, you become happy. When the mind stops, you become infinitely happy. Ananda Atma. Here Ananda again means reflected happiness. Itself is Atma, means the central part is reflected happiness for which we live. Brahmapucham Pratishta. So Anandamaya is also not, it is still reflected material based only. Brahmapucham Pratishta Tadapyesha Sloko Bhavati. Brahmapucham Pratishta. The various levels of happiness that we get is nothing but taste of Brahman, reflected in the mind and intellect. So, without Brahman, none of this happiness is possible. Because Brahman, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Anantam also, Satyam, Jnanam, no, Satchit, Ananda. When you are infinite, Ananda is your nature. It manifests when you, as it manifests as pure bliss itself, when you disidentify with craving on smaller sections of it. When you are focused with the smaller sections of it, that much only you extract. Now, about this Ananda Atma, there is a Tadapyesha Sloko Bhavati. There is a quotation from Rigveda. Here, Sloka always means Rigveda quotation. That's why, where at the end of the quotation, we get iti. I should have mentioned it in the past, but I'm just reading it. In every mantra, we have Anuvaka, we are reading, there is a break, iti. So next, when you see next Anuvaka, that will come, iti. So before I go to sixth Anuvaka is a lot of technical subject matter is there. Reason why the technical matter, because let's not go to sixth Anuvaka yet. Let's not. It's where a lot of technical discussion is there. Bhagavan Shankaracharya, a lot of commentary he writes. I don't want to go into sixth Anuvaka today because it is. I want to get the very important introduction to that. See, our life experiences at the physical level, mental level, intellectual level. When you have a goal, you work for it. Like if you want to, the intellectual level, then everything surrenders to it. Then Anandamaya Kosha is the state of deep sleep, where you become happiness that results when the mind stops. And you know you are happy there. Why? Because you are experiencing happiness. Otherwise, consciousness, if it's not there, if you're a dead man, cannot experience bliss of sleep. Whereas a person who is spiritual, who is mentally present but mind temporarily off, that person experiences, because he is illumining lack of mental disturbance. That is itself Ananda. Then for that Ananda, in bits and pieces, you live life. Our Gurudev used to say it is like taking a chocolate wrapped in a wrapper, but you are eating it without taking the wrapper. So that is the life. Ups and downs are part of it. But you've never really looked for your true being, which redefines yourself. It's not that you after that you don't interact. No, you interact much better because you are free now. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna, this is very important because most of the Vedanta talks do not necessarily are grasped by people because they do not see this ladder properly. Whole Vedanta is based upon understanding this ladder properly. The structure, happiness, unhappiness. So this is actually, I would read a couple of slokas from Bhagavad Gita and then say this ladder is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita very clearly also. This evolution involves a clarity of the goal. If you don't have clarity, it looks good, it feels good, but you don't own it. That clarity has to come through this process of listening, Sravana. So, Bhagavan, chapter 3, Bhagavad Gita, verse number 42, he says, Indriyani paranyahu, indriyebhyah param manaha, manasastu para buddhihi, yo buddhe paratastu saha. Here, Bhagavan Krishna, in third chapter, he only takes up 4. He drops the Anandamaya Kosha, but he mentions it later in 13th chapter. But most of the teaching in study groups and all that, only these 4 we take. Say, Indriyani paranyahu. Senses are very powerful compared to the body. All our life just goes enjoyment, projecting happiness in senses. How much time we have wasted chasing sensuous pleasures, including physical and sexual, all these things, projecting happiness. How to dilute this? Recognizing senses are the lowest of the rung of existence. Indriyebhyah param manaha. Body, mind. So take indriyas as body and prana. You take it. Indriyebhyah param manaha. So indriyas include jnana indriya and karma indriyas, So karma indriyas you put in the senses, Now you shift on to jnana. Indriyebhyah param manaha. It's a part of the jnana indriyas. Param manaha. So the activities of the senses can be controlled if you shift your attention to a emotion higher than purely controlled by senses, like a mother. I have seen a girl whom we knew from our daughter-in-law's side. Her parents were telling me recently we met, she changed so much after she had this son. He said, we cannot believe this. And I talked to her also. She told me, yeah, my life has changed now. I found a purpose which drives me, she says. Not that she didn't have purpose before, but she now feels a new energy behind her sense of existence. Because manaha, she shifted her identification to manas. Fulfillment at the mental level. Manasastu para buddhihi. This is a ladder. It's not new. You have to understand this when we go attend study groups and all these things, but we never really got it. We only stop with the rituals. But then you don't see identification that you are shifting during the rituals. You are finding a quieter and quieter place of your being. That can be possible even when you are not doing rituals. You just be a witness. All the paraphernalia is not necessary if you understand the science behind it. Manasastu para buddhihi. Now that's buddhi. If you understand the science behind what you are doing, the whole day can be detachment from, and buddhi is the sakshi bhava. In the expanded state you can have. The moment you get attached to anything, then you become that. So what you think, you become that. What you support, that takes over your life. Yo buddheha paratastu saha. Higher than buddhi is the conscious, aware being in you. See, there is a beautiful dialogue in chapter 3. Arjuna asks Sri Krishna, Adhakena prayiktoyam papam charati purushaha anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha. What is this that drives a human being towards the sin as though he is forced to do it, even though he doesn't want? Anichin varshneya baladiva, as though he is forced. Krishna answers, Kama yesha krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapatma vidhyena mihavairinam. It is the desire and also anger born out of rajoguna, projecting happiness in activities, not in reveling. That is sattva. Then you get broken. Correspondingly, enjoyment is also broken. Mahashano Mahapatma. Mahashano Mahapatma. It is great language. It is basically, its hunger cannot be fulfilled. Desire. Mahapatma. It drives sin. Makes you limited by your activities and drives you constantly suffer. Vidhyena iha vairinam. Know that is your true enemy. Why am I happy? Why am I not able to do? Why am I not? All these questions arise because you are driven by kamas. So your mind is vikshepa always. You are projecting this. So the study purpose of the Upanitic Shravanam is recognize you are not what you think you are. Happiness is not a product. It is you. Then he gives a couple of examples also. 39. Avrutam jnanam etena jnanino nitya vairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena analena cha. That kama, so this Brahmananda Valli, the analysis of happiness it comes. And root cause is kama. I'm laying foundation by giving you all this introduction. The root cause is this kama. Seeing happiness through the body, through the mind, through the intellect, and then acting only for that, for moda, pramoda, priya, but not for pure ananda, brahmananda. And they are all covered. Jnaninaha nityavairana avurtam jnanam etena. All this kama and krodha cover your wisdom. How kama rupena, in the form of projected happiness outside. And what is this? Dushpurena analena cha. It cannot be fulfilled. Like fire. So this is very, very important to understand the concepts where we are going. For completeness, I will take the sloka from chapter 13, verse number 6. Because Krishna only gave 4 here. He did not give 6. The Brahman he told, he said, senses, mind, intellect, and Atma. But he left out, you can senses, you can include Pranamaya, then he left out Anandamaya. So, but he basically, he makes this change in chapter 13, verse number 6. He talks about what is Prakriti, what is Purusha. Purusha is those who illumines the Prakriti. What arises in you as the object of your consciousness, giving limited existences, forgetting the true existence. That is Prakriti. Mahabhutani Ahankaraha. He gives a list of them. Mahabhutani, 5 Mahabhutas. Ahankaraha, ignorance. Buddhi, Vijnana. Avyaktamevacha. That avyaktam is Anandamaya person. He adds that when he actually explains the totality of the picture, he explains that. In the context of chapter 3, he's explaining only Kama. Then he adds Indriyani Dasaikancha. 10 Indriyas, Jnanendriyas plus Karmendriyas, 5 each. Ekam Manas, here included Manas. Panchachendriya Gocharaha, the object of senses. Indriya Gocharaha, Shabda Swarsa Rupa Rasa Gandha. Krishna gives a very thorough list. Those who are interested, read chapter 13, verse number 6 and 7, which is very thorough list. He includes this Ichha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham, Sanghataha, Chetana, Dhrutihi, Etakshetram, Samasena, Savikaram, Udahutam. He says all the changing, these are all Savikaram. Includes Ichha, desire, Dveshaha. These are all changing, and that is the definition of Kshetram. Sanghata, body, Chetana, Chit, reflected Chaitanya. So science is very simple, but do not just slowly be more and more witness. Don't keep on rotating same thoughts. And knowledge will do that. Knowledge will stop that. When you have knowledge, 99% of your rotating thoughts, unnecessarily repeating the same thought, will fall off. It happens, easily it happens. First casualty of spiritual sadhana is not living in the past. In the present, ignoring unnecessary thoughts. It is the first obvious benefit. And then later on, peace will follow, increasingly. And it becomes your nature. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.